I think a lot of times when we think about a relationship with God, we swing over to He's all powerful, He'll get everything done, He's abundant, He calls us into abundant life, everything's going to be good, all I need to do is trust Him. And all that's true. All that's wonderfully true. There are times when I know all of that's true, but I'm not experiencing it. And does that make God any less able if I don't experience it? I don't know. Where is He in the empty parts? There's so many times when I sit down at my computer to start studying a passage that I'm to provide in leadership for Discover the Word, or I need to write a devotional. Okay, so I sit down and I go, what do I have to say? And sometimes I get incredibly intimidated by the whole task of opening up the Bible and trying to understand what it really says. And I know I went to seminary, but that was like decades ago. It was a million years ago that I went to seminary. And so I'll open up my commentaries and start to study, and I feel just like, I don't know. What do I know? What do I have to offer? I can remember getting up at times in my life to speak and sharing what I knew was from God with people, and sitting down when I was done, and maybe a couple of people come up and say thanks, wow, the Lord used that and stuff, but I didn't feel anything. There's lots of times when I feel like a complete imposter, and somebody's going to find out I really don't know what I'm doing. I remember one time I was preparing for Discover the Word, and I was getting kind of panicked inside that I was going to get it wrong. That, everybody else on the team were so much smarter than me, and I just am like, duh, that's how I felt. And in that moment, honestly, I sensed God just coming really close on my heart, and this kind of a nudge of, Elisa, it's called Discover the Word. You don't have to have it all right. Just discover it. Come alongside in this conversation with me and let me reveal myself in this moment. I don't know if I have the right words to talk about God's character even now. I feel inadequate to do so. And so when we talk about it, I go up there and then I'm all in my head, and I don't know how to talk about it here in terms of His love and His compassion and His presence and how He speaks to me and how He's pleased with me and how He wants to woo me and bring Him closer. And I still feel a divide between His theological character and His being that I experience every day. And I think a lot of us feel that way at times. And God's over and over again comforted me with the reality that nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody's ever been in the place they're in before they're in it. And nobody's enough. But He always is. Sometimes it's beyond words. Sometimes it's beyond the fancy theological terms. Maybe most of the time, it's beyond both of those things. But when I experience this God who loves me no matter what, who's there in everything I face, no matter what, who gives me the ability to face stuff I don't even know how to face or explain to anybody else. And maybe that's what we all see in each other when we see God's image worked out. I see you being amazing. You see me being amazing. Neither of us sees ourselves being amazing, but we see God being amazing through us. And as a result, He's changing us to look more like Him to others.